You did well, Miklon. I will remember the deeds you've performed here today.
You know as well as I that I only did it for the money. Your money.
That's the man from before.
I don't mean to question you, but why exactly are you eavesdropping on them?
It looks like they're having an argument. Butting in now would just make things worse.
What are you playing at, Boar? This washed-up bandit doesn't deserve to look at our army, let alone be a commander in it.
It's a decision I made in collaboration with the Margrave. 2 years ago, after I ascended the throne, I ordered Gustav to capture him, made him swear his allegiance to the royal family, and gave him a unit of soldiers to command.
Spare me the details of how you did it. What I want to know is why.
My army was lacking leaders. We needed capable fighters to fill in the gaps. As for Miklon here, the Margrave himself has instructed him in all manner of military tactics. I've seen his prowess with my own 2 eyes. In the centuries since the time of King Lugh, crests and relics have kept Fargus safe. We've come to depend on that power to protect us from outside attacks, and grown all too complacent in its wake. Naturally, we will take full advantage of our heroes' relics in the battles ahead with Adrestia. But we cannot protect our home with relics alone. If all who could wield them fell, so too would we. The blood of the heroes is thinner now than ever before. We need men like him among our ranks.
I don't doubt the truth of your words, but that's not the issue here. Do you really think it appropriate to trust a man barely removed from his life as a brigand with the responsibility of command?
Everyone's heard the stories of the elder Gautier brother, how he resorted to banditry and plunder. Do you not think our soldiers would object to being led by a man with such history?
Command, huh? It's got a nice ring to it. But you should know, I'm just a prisoner. My attendants, my aides, my best men, all stooges for the royal family. Breathing down my neck every waking moment. All the sleeping moments, too.
No wise remarks, Sylvain? You're standing there mute, as if this has nothing to do with you.
I was one of the first His Majesty consulted with. There's nothing I could say that I haven't already. I'm sure you can't stand the sight of me, Miklon. But let's see if we can't get along, okay?
Anyway, now that we're all caught up, I'll await your next orders, Your Majesty, sir.
Let me guess. Any means necessary?
I won't defend it, though I do see use in such a man. What he did in his time as a bandit was monstrous, I admit that. And I deserve no small amount of judgment for giving him command in spite of it. But I can't help but wonder. Perhaps his life could have been dramatically different had he only possessed a crest. Same as the uncle I murdered.
I understand your reasoning, Your Majesty. Yet he's hurt so many people.
What's done is done. Stolen goods may be returned, but stolen lives cannot. If the man is unwilling to atone for his wrongdoings, then he will pay for it with his head. If he does wish to repent, however, then what better way to do so than by risking his life on behalf of our people? If any among us still can't forgive him, by all means, take up your arms and enact vengeance.
I get what you're trying to do, but you still should have talked to us first. This isn't about who shoulders what blame. It's a matter of letting us know what you're thinking.
You're right, Felix. My apologies. Now then, we march on Aryan Road as planned. With House Rowe's military might crippled, seizing the fortress should be a somewhat simpler matter.
The Silver Maiden. Can we really take it?
You saw how many troops they've already lost. Just plain math will tell you there can't be that many of them left back at the fortress. At least I sure hope not.
And I am sure Houses Karen and Geraint would be willing to lend us a few squadrons in return for the aid we provided them.
Agreed. And their militaries are both formidable indeed. I'll have to factor their support into our strategies moving forward. And what of you, Ash? Will you be joining the fight at Aryan Road?
Yes, I will. Though I do appreciate the concern, Your Majesty.
As long as you're sure you can handle it. Do not hesitate to retreat if it becomes too much for you. House Rowe's forces aside, we now have the added threat of Gerald and his mercenary band to contend with. The very same mercenary band you had been looking for, is it not?
Yeah. One of them in particular, a warrior known as the Ashen Demon, felled my entire company back before I met you. Not sure I'm looking for revenge exactly, but I do want to surpass them, no matter what it takes.
I see. This is the first I'm hearing of it.
Sorry, I wasn't really trying to hide it or anything. Just never came up, I guess.
I believe I understand. Overcoming Gerald and his mercenaries is what drives you in life.
Yeah, you could say that. It's the closest thing to a goal I have, for sure.
In any case, those people cannot be taken lightly. I'd like to avoid crossing blades with them as much as we can. Though we'll likely encounter them sooner rather than later. Imperial forces are still encamped in the former Arendelle territory, after all.
Right. We'd better be ready for anything.
Azure Gleam. Conspiracy in the air. Having laid Lonato low, the kingdom's army proceeds south. Count Rowe, who had prior declared fealty to the Empire, surrenders, and Aryan Road falls back into kingdom hands. With its foothold in the west lost, the Empire amasses troops in the former Arendelle territory to the south, prompting the army of Fargus to strike before Adrestia can regain its footing.
It's nice Aryan Road fell with little more than a hand wave, but it's hardly comfortable knowing the enemy is still on our doorstep.
Comfortable or no, we must take what few chances we do have to rest. Battle will be upon us again before we know it.
Not to mention the fortress is still a target. I mean, who wouldn't want their very own impregnable stronghold?
Our spies report that the enemy plans to mount such an attack from Arendelle land.
Arendelle, huh? It's been 2 years since the territory came under the Emperor's control. The wind carries rumors that Edelgard has been keeping Lord Arendelle imprisoned in his home since then. If it's true, no. Were the enemy to strike and the fortress city to somehow fall, our path forward in this war would grow exceedingly perilous.
The West doesn't face the kind of constant threats we do, so there aren't as many strongholds here as in the North, right?
Basically, Though my uncle did say that started to change at least a tiny bit in the past couple of years.
In other words, the entire western region of the kingdom is likely to fall into enemy hands if we retreat from Aryan Road now.
Indeed. Which is exactly why we must take the offensive and restrain this Imperial snake before it can sink its fangs into us.
Hey, it'll be nice to strike first for once. It feels like we've been on the back foot for a while now.
Right you are. And remaining on perpetual defense would only lead to more meaningless, preventable deaths.
Whatever we decide to do, we need to stay on guard. Geralt and his mercenaries could be around any corner.
Yes, who knows when you might have another fateful duel with the Ashen Demon.
Your Majesty, I bear terrible news.
Calm yourself. What is it?
The convoy escorting Count Rowe to the capital has been attacked by an unknown assailant. They've sustained heavy losses, and it seems Count Rowe has gone missing amid the chaos.
I see. And these assailants, we know nothing about them?
Very little, Your Majesty. The survivors claim to have been attacked by numerous mages.
Mages? No.
What's wrong? Do you know who it is?
You saw the court mage Cornelia during our battle at Ferdia, yes? Well, she disappeared almost immediately after. It's likely she has been burrowed away in western Fargus ever since. Which leads me to wonder if this attack wasn't her handiwork somehow. It's merely a feeling, though. I'd like to look into it further, if possible. Something tells me the Imperial soldiers won't wait around patiently while we go off hunting for clues.
Perhaps you should send a separate unit to investigate, while we attend to the Empire.
Yes, that would be prudent for now. We cannot afford to lower our guard for even a moment.